Hey folks, Tim Newman with Soft Light Studios bringing you another Adobe Lightroom Classic CC quick tip. In today's quick tip, we are going to take a look at setting the background color behind your image in Loop View mode. Now you have a number of choices that you can make there, and we have some guidance as to which way you might want to go. Let's take a look. So in Lightroom, in the Loop View mode, which we are in right now, there is a background area behind the Loop View image that you are looking at. And the amount of that area that would be exposed is of course going to be dependent upon whether or not this picture is zoomed in, zoomed out, whether we have picked fit or fill in the navigator, etc. But it's likely that some of this area will be showing. Now, the background color here in this area can be changed, and it can be done in one of three places. If you're a Mac user, you'll find it under Lightroom Preferences. If you're a Windows user, that would be Edit Preferences, and it will be in the interface panel that you can see me highlighting or hovering over right here inside the Preferences dialog box, and it's this section right here entitled Background. And then here you can come in and you can change the background color that you would like to have behind this image. Also, if you have a secondary monitor or secondary window set up, you can change that background color as well. I'm going to take this and put it back to the dark gray that I typically use. Second place that you can get to it, and this is the reason why I'm pointing out three of them, is there is this background area itself, and that may or may not be visible and clickable depending on your image zoom mode. So if we're here, we can just right click on that and we get the same number of choices that we got in the Preferences dialog, but obviously a little bit quicker to get here and change this, and I can change again the background color to whatever I want it to be. Last but not least, if I right click on the image at the very bottom, you'll see background options, and that same list of choices is available here in this dialog box. Okay, so now that you know where to change these background colors, let's talk about this for a little bit. If I come in here and change my background color to white, it is conceivable that that really light background will tend to skew how I view the image that I'm looking at. We're basically taking this image and we're looking at it against a white frame, which might make us believe that the image is a little washed out, and we might make editing adjustments based on that perception. And of course, the opposite is true. If I right click here and I go to a black background color, that might make us believe that this image is a little too bright or a little too saturated, and then we might of course go the other directions with our adjustment settings here in the Develop module. Personally, I like the dark gray background color. I feel like it really gives me the best representation of the colors, the brightness and the saturation of the image, and allows me to make much better editing decisions. Now, this is not just simply a personal preference. If you study color management and how people view color in environments where color is really critical, say automotive manufacturing, where we have to make sure that every seat that's being placed into a car that is a specific color of tan is exactly that color of tan every time. We measure that color in a very specific location in very controlled lighting conditions with very specific background colors, light fixture colors, and furniture colors. And that dark gray happens to be what is typically used in those environments. So I tend to like to stay there for my background color, but we wanted to let you know that those options were available to you and our thoughts on which way you might set them. Now, if you are an older Lightroom user, you might remember that there was an option to do some custom background stuff there and even pinstripes. It looks like in the most recent release, Adobe has taken those options out, which personally I think makes sense because I thought those things were really distracting from the image you were editing in the first place. Okay, a couple more thoughts and we'll have you out of here. So there you have it, folks. Background color behind the primary and secondary windows in Lightroom, and some thoughts on how you might want to set that. Bet you're happy you know that's there now. Okay, well that's it for today's quick tip. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to mash that subscribe button down below. Remember, as we always say, learning equals skills, practice equals mastery. We'll see you out there.